Hey everyone, welcome back. And in this video, let's just go ahead and take a look at how you can you can not allow the user to use the components individually, right? So first things first, you can see that if I'm trying to use this label directly, it kind of works, but the moment I click on this, it'll fail because the setChecked property is not sent, right? And it makes sense because if you're using it without the checkbox right here, nobody really injects the prop setChecked. Therefore, you cannot really access this prop anyway, right? Because we do not do this right here. But if you're creating, let's say if you're creating a sort of a library or something, this error is not helpful at all because you most likely will be importing this label component from some other library. So what you want to do is probably throw in a helper check. You can say if setChecked is not defined, that means called directly. So you can say throw new error, label should be called from checkbox component, right? So this will help you fix a little bit of messaging problem here. So now this is much more better in terms of readability. And you can get away with that. Now, there's another thing which you can do. For example, with checkbox input, I'm going to try to take another route. So you can see if I refresh this, it works. But the moment I click on this, it will again fail for the same reason, right? So it might be possible that instead of doing something like this, you might want to, just let this happen. That if you are creating a set checkbox input, it's perfectly fine. You can create it individually, but maybe if you want label, it has to be inside a checkbox. So how can you go about that? Well, it depends on component to component, honestly. So I can just show you the example for this one. But if you want, you can circumvent the measures. And for this case, the way you can do it is you can create an internal state. You can say checked, set checked, and then you can say use state again here and initialize it with whatever that it was passed, right? And then you can say that, hey, whenever this checked prop changes, you set checked the value to checked, right? And now what you can do is on change, you set checked to e.target.checked, right? Because this is necessary. This thing is necessary so that you propagate the correct value to checked at the top of the tree so that label can get the correct value right here. And once that propagation happens, it comes back to here. This checked value gets changed. You change the set checked here. Now this is one way to go about, but here you would see that you are actually going to waste a render. Plus, if set checked is not defined, you're going to be screwed. So what you can do instead is you can go ahead and say that, hey, if setChecked is defined, then and then only I want to call this. Otherwise, I would always like to call the internal handler anyway. Checked, right? And I can get rid of this use effect. So now when I do it, I click on this. This will set the variable. This will set the state. And yeah, I mean, you can update it like this. And it should work just perfectly fine. One quick problem you're going to see is that you get a warning from React is that you're trying to change an uncontrolled input to controlled. Now the reason for this warning is because when you call it like this, because you're not passing the checked prop, this comes in undefined, right? So use state starts with undefined, your checked prop starts with an undefined value. This means that, well, your property value is in fact undefined. Therefore, this is an uncontrolled component. And the moment you tick it for the first time, it checks it to true and then it becomes controlled. So to fix this, you can force cast this to a Boolean by using double exclamation. And the only thing this will do is that it'll convert this undefined into false, right? If it is like true, then of course it will remain true because you're double negating it. And if it is false, it still will remain false. But this will just convert your undefined into false so that you do not get that warning which you were getting. And of course, I have not saved the file. That is why and you can see now you can make use of it. One thing you can do is you can say use effect once it's ready. Once the component is ready, you can say if checked, not really checked, but if set checked is not there, you can say console.warn checkbox input should be called inside checkbox for maximum benefit, or something like that, you know, depends on what you want to do. So now you can see you have warning, but not really end of the world, right? You're not really doing an end of the world thing. So yeah, that's pretty much how you're going to work with the components without actually nesting them one another. And this is sort of a pattern, but I would recommend probably like throwing the error, because you don't really want to implement custom functionality in every single one of them if they are not present in the correct manner. But this is how you can approach and create a little bit of sort of widgets or UI things and get on with it. So that's all for this video. I'm going to see you in the next one.